Very good morning, dear children. Dear children, we are on the last module of the chapter, and the topic is fishing in troubled waters, Mausolepatnam. So, we talked about Surat, we talked about Hampi, and now we are talking about Mausolepatnam. So, Mausolepatnam town, children, it was also known as Machli fine, which literally means a fish port town. So it was in the delta of Krishna river, and in the 17th century it was the center of a lot of activity was done there. Now both Dutch and the English East India companies, they done they used all hook and crook to control the Mausolepatnam. Fine. Why? Because it was the most important port on the Andhra coast that time. The fort at Mausolepatnam was built by the Dutch children at that time. Fine. So a poor fisher town. Fine. So the William Methwold, he was a factor means of a official in charge of trading activities of the European trading companies. So he says something about Mausolepatnam. You just go through it. Now Qutub Shahi rulers of Golconda, fine, they imposed royal monopolies. They imposed royal monopolies on the trail. Now they just taking their advantage on the sale of textiles, spices, and other items on the trading of all these things. So they gave all the rights to the in the hands of East India companies. Fine. Now fierce competition, a lot of competition was among the trading groups. Who were the trading groups? The Golconda nobles, the Persian merchants, the Telugu Kumati Chetis, and the European traders. They were facing a lot of competition that made the city populous and prosperous. Because of this competition, because of this trade, this city became very populous. A lot of people settled here, and it became very prosperous as well. Fine. Now as the Mughals began to extend their power to Golconda, their representatives, the governor Mir Jumla, who was also a merchant, began to play off Dutch and English against each other. Now Mughals, they wanted to extend their power to Golconda. So what their representative governor started doing? He started playing off with Dutch and English. He started speaking ill about Dutch and English. He started making the misunderstandings among the Dutch and English. In 1686-87, Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb, he annexed Golconda. Fine. Now European companies, they wanted some alternative. Now what alternative they checked out? Let's see. Now new policy of English East India Company was there, and what was it? That it was not enough if a port had connections with the production centers of the hinterlands. So they said it is not enough for us that the port is having connection with the production centers. The new company trade centers, it was felt, should combine with political, administration, and commercial roles. Now the company, the East India Company, now see the English had come. Now they started to take interest in the political, administration, and commercial things also. They started playing these roles also. As the company traders moved to Bombay, Calcutta, Madras, Mausolepatnam. Now after this they shifted to the other places. Now this Mausolepatnam, it lost both its merchants and prosperity, and it declined badly in the 18th century, being today nothing more than a dilapidated little town. So after that it just became a little town. So it did not regain its importance. New towns and traders. Now, children, in the 16th and the 17th century, I told you, European countries, they were searching for spices and textiles. Fine. Now, which had become very popular in Europe and West Asia, now they wanted spices also, they wanted textile also. So, the English, the Dutch, the French, they formed East India companies, different East India companies, just to expand their commercial activities where in the east. So they shifted to east side, and east side where they shifted to India. Initially, great Indian traders like Mullah Abdul Ghaffar and Virji Vohra, they were the very, great Indian traders who owed a large number of ships competed with them. So they had a large number of ships which used to compete with them. Fine. However, the European companies used their naval power to gain control over the sea routes and force Indian traders to work as their agents. So, what they did, they forced the Indian traders to work as their agents, as the agents for Dutch, Portuguese, and English. Ultimately, the English emerged as the most successful commercial and political power in the subcontinent. So now, after some time, they became very successful in the commercial matters also, in as well as in the political matters also. The spurt in demand of goods like textile led to great expansion of craft and spinning, weaving, bleaching, dyeing, with more and more people taking up them. Now, as it was in large demand, so a lot of people started doing these things. Indian textile design became increasingly refined. Now, it was becoming refined. However, see, this period also saw the decline of the independence of craft persons. So, craft persons' independence was somewhere declined. Why? Because they are now working on a system of advance, which meant that they had to weave cloth which was already promised by the European agents. So now they were working on advanced systems. So whatever the European, agents they wanted, so they had to make the cloth according to that. So now the weavers, they don't have any liberty of selling their own cloth and weaving their own patterns. So whatever patterns the European traders were telling them to make, they were making that. They were not independent now. The Indian weavers, they were not independent in making their patterns. They had to reproduce the design supplied to them by the company agents. Again and again, they had to repeat the things. The 18th century saw the rise of Bombay, Calcutta, and Madras. Now, what happened? Bombay, Calcutta, Madras, they had faced a lot of rise, which are nodal cities today. Now, today they have become very important cities. Craft and commerce underwent major changes, and merchants and artisans were moved into the black towns, especially established by the European. Now, the European companies, they made black towns and the white towns. So, children, black towns, they were for the native traders, means for the Indians. They are traders, the craft persons, they can stay there. And the white towns, they were occupied by the superior residencies of Fort St. George in Madras or Fort St. William in Calcutta. So they were, the white town is for the Britishers and the black town was for Indians. The story of craft and commerce in the 18th century will be taken up next year. So next year you are going to study about this in detail. Now, children, just take a look about Vasco da Gama and Christopher Columbus, how they, how they invented the sea routes, how they reached India. So just go through it. So, children, this was all about the topic. Thank you and have a nice day.